Hi guys, today we are going to be learning how to make bread without oven, without kneading from the scratch, and as usual, without wasting your time, let us get straight into business. So you're going to start by sifting your flour into a bowl. We need about 2 cups of flour. So you're going to sift it, and sifting will help your flour to be lighter and to remove whatever dirt from the flour. So make sure you sift your flour. In that same bowl, you're going to add some sugar, 2 tablespoons, a pinch of salt. You're going to mix together, and now we have to mix our wet ingredients. We need some warm milk. So right now we are mixing together a tablespoon of our milk powder and half cup of warm water mixed together thoroughly. Like I mentioned, warm milk. So make sure the water you're using to mix this is not too hot and not too cold either. If it's too cold, your yeast is not going to activate, and if it's too hot, it's going to kill the yeast. So in that cup of warm milk, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of your yeast, your active yeast, and mix together and then leave it to proof. And by the way, in case you're wondering the yeast that I use, you can use any brand of choice. This is the one that I use. Okay, just make sure it is dry and active. And one good way to know if your yeast is still active is to leave it in that warm milk for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then when you start seeing bubbles on top, it means that your yeast is active and is good to go. If not, please abort mission. Okay, now we also need some melted butter. You guys, this is how to melt your butter. Just get any butter of choice. I'm using this cooking margarine. Drop in a hot pan and leave it to melt for a few seconds, and here you have it, your melted butter. So in that same cup, you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of your melted butter. You're going to break in 1 egg. Are you following? You're going to now mix together. So now we have our wet ingredients, and we're going to combine the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients, and we're going to form a dough with it. It's so easy to make. Okay, just make sure you watch this to the end. Now we're going to combine the wet and the dry ingredients together, like I said before, and you're going to first of all start with using a spatula. If it's not doing very well, drop it and use your hands like I did. Okay, so just mold this into a dough gently. Don't worry, the measurement in this recipe is very accurate. If you follow it step by step, you will not have any issues at all. And remember that we are making a no knead type of bread, so it's a lazy bar style. Okay, just make sure you get a sticky dough like this. As soon as you get your dough together like this, sprinkle a little bit of oil on top of it just to keep it moist and shiny when it is resting. And you're going to just turn it around so that the oil can enter every corner, and we're going to cover this up with a plastic wrap or with any napkin that you have. Just cover it up, okay, and leave this to rest for like 1 hour. You can even set an alarm for it so that you will not forget, and just keep checking till your dough has doubled in size. Okay, so now we've left this to rest, and you guys, we are now back 1 hour later. This is what our dough is looking like. Okay, it's not looking smooth because we did not need it, but it does not really matter. Okay, this is the lazy man style of making bread. Okay, so you're going to just use your hand to just press it together so that any excess bubble or hair in the bread can escape. Now you're going to prepare your baking dish. Okay, so this is what I'm using. Just butter the baking dish. You can use whatever it is that you have, a small pot, a small bowl that can withstand it. Okay, now you're going to now sprinkle a little bit of flour. This is going to stop your bread from sticking to your pan anyhow, so make sure you don't skip this step. The other alternative is to use a baking paper or a parchment paper. Just use whatever you have. Okay, so now that we are done with the whole buttering and the flouring of the pan, we are now going to prep our dough. You're going to cut this into 3 equal sizes depending on the style or the shape of bread you're looking for. You can cut your dough into smaller sizes, 9 pieces, 10. You can make yours 3 like I am doing. You can make yours 6. Okay, so just take one of your dough. You're going to now flatten it with a rolling pin because we're about to shape this into a medium sized roll for our pan. So first we're going to flatten it so that it will be easy for us to shape on. You can shape it anywhere you want to do it, but just flatten it first. Now you're going to now fold the both side of your dough just like this. Just pay attention. Okay, this is very easy to do. Just fold both sides and then go in with your rolling pin again and just flatten it out.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So now that we have our dough flattened out, I hope you paid attention to the steps. You are now going to just roll it in together. Just roll it in. Be careful, don't rush it, okay? Just take your time, especially if it's your first time. Just roll it together nicely. This is what your dough roll should look like, okay, when you're done. So you're going to repeat the same step for the other two dough and drop in your pan. So here we have it. You're going to cover this dough up for like 15 minutes. Cover it up, okay, so that the thing can expand again. Just 15 minutes and you're back. Okay, now we have to prepare our egg wash. 1 egg in a bowl, add a tablespoon of milk and mix it together. This is going to give your bread that golden brown look on top of it, so make sure you don't miss this step. Just mix together and then set it aside. Remember, we are not using an oven to bake, so we have to preheat our pot. We are using pot to bake, so bring out your pot, preferably an aluminium or an old pot you're no more using again. Add salt. Yes, the salt is going to act as a base, and you're going to drop in any stove top, any stove stand in the pot, and then cover it up and leave that to heat up, okay, for a few minutes. Now our dough has risen in size. As you can see, you're going to brush it up with your egg wash gently, okay? So just brush the top, and then it's time for us to bake. Immediately brush the top of your dough with the egg wash. Don't waste time again, just bake it immediately, okay? So drop it in your pot like this. You're going to cover it up and leave this for like 15 to 20 minutes on low heat. If your heat is too high, your bread is going to burn, so just make sure you do this on low heat. And after 18 minutes, this is what I have. Now you're going to take butter, any butter of choice, and just brush the top of the bread so that the top can be shining. So don't skip this step, okay? So this is what I have, and now you're going to take it out gently, okay? Make sure you don't burn your hand when you're taking it out. And here you have it, your bread without kneading, your bread without an oven, perfect and ready for your family to devour. Now that bread is expensive, but I would advise you to start thinking of how to make your own bread at home, because it is so easy to make. Aside from the resting time, can you guys see how fluffy and soft this is looking? Anyway, if this is your first time on this channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and join our growing family, okay? I'm so glad to have you here. My name is Tosin, and my goal is to help you become a better home cook. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section. I always reply my comments, okay? And if there's any recipe you would like us to make next, please let me know. I already have a sardine bread recipe lined up. I have sauces, I have some juices, I have, you guys know how we do it, okay? So make sure you subscribe. And if there's any recipe you have in mind that you want us to learn how to make step by step, let me know, okay? Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I am so happy to have you guys here. Thank you so much, guys. Bye, guys.